Joining us now, Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna of California. Also with us, former Chief of Staff to the DCCC, Adrienne Elrod. She was a senior aide to the Hillary Clinton and Biden presidential campaigns. Good to have you both.
Hey, Congressman, since I brought up the institution of Congress, as I was talking about Instagram and what we all know it's been doing not only to all of our girls, but all of our girls' friends and everybody that talks to us when we're out there. What can be done? This sounds a lot like big tobacco. They know their product is harming people, and they're doubling down on targeting because they make so much money from young people.
Joe, you were absolutely right. You know, I texted my staff saying, get me the clip of Scarborough. I'm going to send it to everyone in my district in Silicon Valley. It's it's outrageous. It's not just girls. Facebook actually has recommended QAnon clips, getting people to join QAnon groups based on people's profile. There's an Internet Bill of Rights that some of us have proposed that says you've got to have opt-in consent. You can't just manipulate people on data. You can't target people. You have to do basic regulations when it comes to kids. It's stuck in the committees, but you're right to hold us responsible, and you're absolutely right to point out the flaws. So I'm going to send it to my colleagues, and I'm going to send it to people in the Valley.
Congressman, it's Willie Geist. So what can Congress reasonably do here? I mean, reading through this Wall Street Journal article, we're reminded that Senators Blumenthal and Blackburn, a Republican and a Democrat together, sent a letter in August to Facebook saying, you need to do something about this. You need to tell us what you know about the damage to teenagers caused by your product. And they said the answers they got were so evasive, said Senator Blumenthal, that he suspected Facebook was hiding something, and now we know it's this internal research. So what, if anything, can Congress do about this for a private company?
Well, I don't think we need more information. I think we know what they're doing is wrong. I think we need regulation, and we can start out with some very basic things. They should basically have to get any person's consent before collecting data. Why does this matter? Because they target young people and they target adults based on profile. So if someone, for example, is anorexic, they could be targeted with negative information about body image. And all of that needs to stop. It will stop if we first start requiring active consent before you can collect data. They need to be held to the same safety and public health and consumer safety standards as other companies selling products, and the same standards for minors. The other thing is there's the Child Protection Act, which applies to kids under 13, but a lot of folks lie about it. I mean, there are many people on Instagram under 13 who are using these products. They need to have liability if there are people under 13 using these products. There are a host of things, but I think the point is exactly right. It's not that Congress doesn't know what to do. Congress hasn't acted. I mean, the privacy regulation, I've been in Congress 5 years. We proposed it 4 years ago. It's stuck in the Energy and Commerce Committee. It's time to act. These folks were responsible for a lot of misinformation, and it's not the First Amendment. The First Amendment doesn't protect the right to cause bodily harm or the right to incite violence.
Well, in this case, and my God, we could talk about all the lies that Facebook has spread. We can talk about how they push people to right-wing groups that led to the assassination of a federal officer by a member of a right-wing group in Oakland during the Black Lives Matter protests last year. We could talk about Plandemic, how they spread around lies that led to people getting false information on COVID. But just in this case, what other company in America could have internal documents revealed that show that they are causing substantial damage to teenage girls, mental health crises for teenage girls, suicidal ideations for teenage girls, anxiety and depression in teenage girls, and that they're doubling down to make even more money off of teenage girls? What other company would not be treated just like big tobacco was, with a ban on them marketing to teenage girls and letting teenage girls use a product that causes them harm?
Absolutely. Well, they need to ban the current product. I mean, if there are other ways of social media for teenage girls, that's fine. But having likes and shares that are basically incentivizing bullying, that are creating problems for teenage girls and teenage boys in terms of social peer pressure. It's basically the worst experiences you had in junior high growing up on steroids. And that's what some of these platforms are. And the irony is their mission statement says we're going to build community, we're going to bring world peace, we're going to connect people, but there has to be accountability. And I agree with you, Joe, that Congress can act. We can regulate this. It's not like we're powerless, and we should, and I certainly support that regulation. And I'll tell you, representing Silicon Valley, there are a lot of people who would support that regulation. You're absolutely right about tech executives. They don't want their folks on phones. We have kids. We don't let our kids we regulate how much time they have on phones. So we need common sense reform.
Congressman, good morning. It's Jonathan Lemire. I wanted to shift gears slightly. We just heard about that census data about more people being lifted out of poverty, in part because of federal measures, the stimulus checks that some Americans got during the pandemic, which leads me to this. Where do things stand right now in terms of negotiations for what comes next? We obviously, there's been a great debate within the Democratic Party about the size of this reconciliation package. Could be up to $3.5 trillion. Some think it should be a lot less than that. That's the heart of the Biden agenda, the heart of what you guys are trying to do. Where do things stand? What's needed?
We're going to get it done. First of all, we should talk less about the number and more about what's in the plan. The plan means that seniors are going to get dental, they're going to get vision finally, they're going to get hearing aids. The plan means that people are going to get child care. You look at what has caused the labor shortage. Part of it is 2 million women are out of work, and everyone knows a story of someone who's juggling, taking care of their kids while having to be at work. The plan would provide child care. The plan would provide vocational education and community college. The plan would finally invest in clean energy. We're going to get to a yes. I believe that. Look, I know Senator Manchin. We come from different parts of the party. I'm progressive. He's a centrist. I believe he's going to get to a yes, and we're going to get the President Biden's agenda passed. I think we'll pass both bills. What the exact number is, that's going to be a discussion, but I have no doubt we're going to get to a yes on both bills.